When we spoke about setting up this interview,
Yeah.
you were clear that you didn't identify as a psychologist.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, for one thing, I'm technically not a psychologist. As
Fair
I'm
enough.
not a registered psychologist, and nor could I be a registered psychologist. I didn't do those undergraduate courses for which you would become a registered psychologist. In terms of the government, and we're in a very regulated system, I'm not going to say I'm something that they would say I'm not. Needless to say, I don't believe in anything. I think the other thing is that, well, I have mixed feelings about psychology as a discipline. I have mixed feelings of somewhat less mixed feelings about social work. So I've seen psychology as, my training, insofar, my training has been primarily in psychology, so it's not like I'm saying that this wasn't helpful. But I do see psychology as something that progressively has become the handmaiden of psychiatry. So I see it as and that while one can break out of the individualistic modalities that it puts you into, in fact does tend to look at this individual mind as if it's a monad over there, right? And in that respect, I've always preferred social work, and I've taught in social work too. I've always preferred social work because it kind of linked people up with the concept that we are a part of a society, we are part of social groups. And so on.
Is there a way? I mean, I totally agree with you. Clearly, I mean, is there a way though, if for feminist psychologists or feminist psychology as a discipline to battle against this sort of path that we're sort of seem to be inexorably following towards psychiatry?
Well, there can, but it's very much a vanguard action. I mean, the psychology had to be one of the earliest professions to professionalize. And social work's done it too, but psychology did it very early. And I don't see, psychology would have to fight against its own professionalization. I don't see anyone doing that. I mean, my courses are, all my courses are cross-listed here between adult education and counseling psychology. But I have trouble, for the first year I went to meetings on both sides of the department. Adult ed community development on one side and counseling psychology, but I had trouble coming to these meetings because there was an enormous, I could see the push, and I could see people taking the push toward professionalization. And so you see it at universities where people have to make sure, okay, we have to have this course and this thing and this thing here, so that this group credentializes and that group credentializes and so on. So I see many of my colleagues would see themselves as feminists, right? Or are feminists, right? But the pool is incredible. So I don't know. I mean, is there a point at which a profession is so spoiled that it can't, by spoiled I don't mean spoiled as in, I mean ruined. That it can't be, it may be. I think, I'm not willing to say that at the moment about psychology. I'm willing to say that about psychiatry.